need a sound check. Mic test 1 2, Jeri Williams. So this morning I ask our entire community to send your thoughts and prayers to Phoenix Police Officer Tyler Moldovan, his wife Chelsea, his family, the 61 King Squad, and all of us. Earlier this morning, Officer Tyler Moldovan was shot multiple times protecting and serving our community. We know that the doctors and the medical staff at the hospital are doing everything they can possible to save him. This kind of incident sends shockwaves throughout our entire valley. There are no words when this kind of incident happens, but I do have to remind you that we're days away from the holidays. So the details as I know them as we stand, just before 2 o'clock this morning, several officers were searching an apartment complex when a suspect opened fire on Moldovan and shot him multiple times. The other officers on scene acted quickly and were able to get the suspect into custody. None of our Phoenix police officers were able to fire their weapons. Right now, our homicide detectives are on scene, and it's the very early stages of the investigation, so I won't have any details on those. So we're asking the patience of the community and the media as we try to put the pieces of this puzzle together. And as soon as we get more information, we will release it to us. Officer Moldovan just celebrated his 22nd birthday last month. He's been with our department for a year and a half. He graduated the academy in March of this year and recently became a solo officer. Again, we're asking you to keep the Moldovan family, Tyler, Chelsea, 61 King Squad, the Phoenix Police Department, and our entire community in your thoughts and prayers. And I can say this, Tyler is doing exactly what we expect our police officers to do, and that's fight, and that's continue to fight. So please keep us in your thoughts and your prayers. Thank you.
What is his condition right now? Is he in surgery? What can you tell us?
So what I can tell you is that the medical staff is doing everything possible to try to save Tyler, and he's in there fighting because that's what he does.
I see the tears in your eyes. Even hearing you speak brings tears to my eyes. What was it like to get that call at 2:30, 3 o'clock, knowing that one of your officers is down?
It's a call no one wants to get. His family doesn't want to get the call. My executive team doesn't want to get the call, but the irony of this whole thing is that our officers put this uniform on every day, not knowing what's going to happen to them on any given shift. They're our true heroes. Thank you.
I'm Sergeant Vincent Cole, Vincent. My last name is Cole, Cole. I'm a sergeant with the Phoenix Police Public Affairs Bureau.
Sergeant, knowing that this officer was so young, we heard her say 22 years old. Talk about, was this something that Tyler always wanted to do? He wanted to be a police officer. He was just fresh out of the academy. Can you speak to that?
So what I can speak to is we have men and women of the Phoenix Police Department that take risks every day, that put on this uniform to protect and serve this community. I can't speak to him specifically, but what I can say is I know what our officers are like and what they're out here to do.
And as far as what went down at that apartment complex at 2 o'clock this morning, I know you can't say much, but what are investigators going to be looking at today when they try to piece together the details?
Anytime we do an investigation, we look at everything. We look at everything that led up to it and everything involved. At this time, it's early on in the investigation to be able to provide details, but as that information becomes available, I'll be providing it to you.
Can you tell us a little bit more about Tyler? What is he like? What are his interests? Anything more about his family?
As I stand before you, I can't speak to any of that. Again, I can speak to the character of the Phoenix of a Phoenix police officer and the care that our officers have for this community.
Can you touch on why officers were at that apartment complex? They were searching. What were they looking for?
Officers were investigating a vehicle doing donuts in the area of about 21st Avenue in Hazelwood, and their investigation led them to the area of 15th Avenue in Camelback.
Was that pretty soon after?
Right, yes, shortly thereafter.
Can you spell Tyler's last name?
I'll get that. I'll provide that for you after our sound. Again, I'll provide details as they become available.
And will you be updates with us?
I'll be the one providing you
You'll be the
updates.
one providing. Okay. So you'll let us know next time you have any type of update and stuff like that. Okay. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And do we know how many times he was shot?
We don't at this time. It's still
Okay.
part of the
Do we know-
investigation.
Can you say where he was shot?
Not at this time.
So, just so I'm clear, so they were investigating vehicles doing donuts
Nearby.
Right. That was the initial report that we received.
So then they went to an apartment complex near that, looking for people possibly involved.
Again, with this, we're really early on in this investigation. Their investigation from 21st Avenue in Hazelwood took them to about 15th Avenue in Campbellback.
Okay. And did everything happen pretty soon after? they
This
got-
all occurred within a pretty short time frame.
Okay. Yeah, can you touch on anything about the suspect that's in custody?
I can tell you we have a suspect in custody. We won't be releasing any details about him at this time.
Do we know, somebody's asking me from the station, did officers rush him to the hospital or paramedics?
I believe he was taken by paramedics.
And I know that you're going to provide us the spelling later, but can you pronounce his last name one last time so we understand his last name?
Moldavok.
Moldavok?
And that'll be all.
It's sent out to us. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.